Unlocked a new location. I am currently back in the Netherlands, but that doesn't matter. This is the Saving 6 vlog and Redeeming 6, obviously, because it's all about Joey and Aoife. So basically, I have already started Saving 6. I'm about 50 pages in. I read basically where Darren brings Joey to school for his first day of secondary school, and him meeting Aoife for the very first time, him seeing her at school and them talking, and that's as far as I've gotten. I am very excited for this reread. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to see Joey's addiction unfold and see, do we see it, like, how obvious is it to us as opposed to other people. But yeah, this is what we're at. I have just started Saving 6. We're moving into Redeeming 6 then obviously after that. It's going to be full spoilers, the same as it was for Binding and Keeping 13. I absolutely cannot keep it spoiler free. So once I get further into it, I'll let you know. But of course, I'm only 50 pages in, so there's not much to let you guys know on. I am not much further into Saving 6. I'm on page like 52. We just had our first I'll be seeing ya Malloy last night. And is there anything else I highlighted? There was a few things I highlighted in the first couple of pages that I wanted to go over with you that I thought was really important. This is where Joey's addiction starts. I feel I think he's in first year at this point, and he's after meeting up with Shane and smoking a joint, and he says, I went home that night and slept like a baby, blissfully unaware of anything outside my locked bedroom door. After my first night of unbroken sleep in years, I was instantly converted and decided that weed was for me. After a smoke I could relax better than I'd ever been able to. I could close my eyes at night and not hear her in my head. I could ignore the burning pain of betrayal and the rejection that crippled me every time I thought of Darren leaving me to fend for the family alone. Or what would happen if I tried to leave. I had peace. Bawling ruins me, and then like just a lot of foreshadowing of Darren leaving. But I'm loving my reread so far. This annotation guide is super cute. Let's go deal with more trauma, because the title of this chapter is You Are Just Like Him. Wonder who he's just like. Okay, so I'm coming at you with some more updates for Saving 6. I am at third year now, so I read a little bit more. I can't remember where I was at the last time we spoke, but it was I'll Be Seeing You Malloy was where I stopped, so I'll go back to there and we'll see what happened in between. There was one thing here I noticed, that on page 55 she might think she loved all of her children, but she certainly didn't or couldn't love me. Bawling. And then there's one down here when they're like having an argument and being like, why do you keep wearing your wedding ring? Like, take it off. And she was like, because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, Irish guilt, Catholic guilt. But then on the following 2 pages, she's so cruel to him, like saying, I know you're here shouting and ordering and laying down the law, just like, never mind. Just like what? I'm just like what, ma'am? It doesn't matter. It does. Tell me what. I'm just like what? Him. Is that what you were going to say? I remind you of him. Yes, you remind me of your father. I know it's not your fault. I know, okay, but you just remind me so much of him more and more every day. She said that he was like, yeah, looks I can take, but not personality. And she was like, no, every way you're like him. Then this scene, because this is like a Mandela effect scene from Saving 6. It's when Aoife's outside and sees Joey with the guards, and people, me being one of them, thought that he like winks at her when he's like getting arrested, but it doesn't happen. He's just, as we watched one of the male Gardaí pin Joey Lynch to the side of the paddy wagon, instead of keeping his mouth shut like the others, Joey laughed and taunted the Garda, who was roughly patting him down, dressed in his usual attire, oversized navy hoodie that concealed his blonde hair. He continued to talk to the Gardaí, goading him into losing his cool. So he doesn't wink. He just is like there. Then there was another one I highlighted. Casey always joked that Joey Lynch would never make it to his 25th birthday, because you do see that with addicts. Like, you would think that like he might not make it to his 25th birthday, because he would end up like choosing drugs, unfortunately. But I'm trying to see now, is there any more that I highlighted? I think the only thing after this is the "You're my favourite friend with my favourite legs." You're my favourite friend with my favourite legs. And that's on page 91. I think that's all I highlighted. The rest of it is... No, there was a scene with Quiva, but there wasn't much. It was just basically Darren saying hello to her, because she goes to BCS to finish 6th year. So there's that, but other than that, there's no foreshadowing so far, other than his addiction. We're into 3rd year now, so September 1st, 2001, and it's called New Bathrooms and Old Mistakes. So I am buzzing to get further into this. I've gotten further since I last updated, but I'm going to show you this because this just made me really sad. Cocaine before school. But then on the next page, what I noticed was, I thought, like, will he get a better understanding for Darren and why he left? Because, like, he said that everything was going to be okay, but he didn't even believe it himself. I'm just loving seeing Aoife again, and I'm loving seeing them build, like, up to the relationship because they're friends for so long. This is the saddest chapter I've read so far, is when he realises, when he's told that his great granddad is dying, and he has to go visit him, and he was like, he's the first person whose touch I didn't fear. He was the man who taught me how to ride a bike. He was the man who took me to the cinema for the first time. He was the man who was never supposed to go anywhere because we needed him to stay right here and not leave. But the man was 90, unfortunately. And then he says this to him. He said, because you're Joseph, you're my Joseph. Loyal, kind, forgiving, fearful, nurturer, protector. He was the father of the lost. And that's why he named him that, because he knew. Then we obviously got the Iris. Oh no, we got the Bonnie and Clyde moment. And then we got Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. And as far as I am now is Don't Pretend You Haven't Noticed, January 7th, 2004, and it's Aoife's chapter. What is the last page of the chapter? Oh, it's when they cut off Shannon's ponytail, the bullies, and Joey finds out, and he goes and beats the shit out of the brother of the girl who's bullying her, because he can't hurt her because she's a girl. So he goes and beats the brother, and that's the end of the chapter. But I don't know how far. Am I about halfway? Just under halfway. I love Joey. I think Joey just deserves the world, the moon. He is a perfect example of the way a lot of teenagers' lives went in Ireland, I personally think. And I think he's a great representation of it, that like caring and still being there, but being so stuck in your addiction that you can't do anything about it, but also caring so much about the people around you, because a lot of time when people fall into addiction, they stop caring, they stop wanting to be around, they start lying, cheating, doing everything. But like a lot of the time we see with Joey, he doesn't do all that. Like, yes, he does like ignore people, or he will ghost people, or he will do all that, but he's always wanted to protect his family, even if it means from him. But yeah, and then Aoife's brother again is the worst. I hate Kevin. Kevin is just the worst. Can we get rid of Kevin? That's all my thoughts thus far. Just so much. I'm just enjoying this reread so much. I just want to savor it as much as possible. So yeah, I will come back to you when I don't know. I'll come back to you when I get further, I guess.
Yeah. That's not that hard to find out. That's what I was saying.
Wow. Saving 6 updates. I am on page 450, so I think I'm like 60% into it about. I forgot like how much Aoife doesn't understand what's going on for Joey at the start. Like, you think because they're friends for so long, like she knows what's going on the whole time, but she doesn't. But it's that Irish thing again of like knowing what's going on, but like not speaking about it, just kind of like brushing it under the carpet. Like, you see the bruises, you see the marks, you see the, you know, the tiredness, the gauntness, everything, you see all that, but it's like you pretend it's not there at the same time, because if no one talks about it then it's not real. But Joey and Aoife have just like, their relationship is just like blossoming fully. Like, she's not with Paul at all anymore, they're together, and I just love Joey, and I think Joey deserves the world, and I see him in so many people. And it's funny because like I've worked both sides of the addiction like field, so I've worked with young people who have suffered with addiction, and I've worked with adults who've suffered with addiction, and I think Joey is the perfect, like, he is the teenagers, some of the teenagers that I work with, but he could have ended up like a lot of the people that I would have met when I was working in the addiction services with the adults. So I just find Joey really relatable, and I can see how he ended up in the position he ended up in, and I have so much empathy for him, and it's going to kill me. Redeeming 6 is going to kill me, because I forgot, because Aoife and Joey's story is done as far as I know technically, that we get to 6th year in Saving 6, and then Redeeming 6 is all of 6th year. So yeah, their story is complete once we finish Redeeming 6, but I just love it. I love it, and I cannot believe I pushed off my reread for so long. Like, it's been amazing. Yeah, it's basically, I'm hoping to finish today because it's the last day of May, and I want to get this on my May wrap up. So I need to go and try to do that now, basically. Oh, I finished Saving 6. You know what? Actually, I'll actually get Saving 6 out. I finished Saving 6. I got through inches. So yeah, I forgot. I thought it happens in Redeeming 6, but clearly not. I saw I had to read basically. Okay, I'm gonna go back to where I was. I think I was at 6th year the last time I updated you. I think I was just starting 6th year. But this broke my on page 468. This is when, basically, when Tony finds out that Aoife and Joey are together, and Joey basically sees him work the following day and is like apologising, being like, I'm so sorry that, like, you know, I fell in love with her, I tried to fight it, I tried to do everything I can to like not disappoint you. And Tony basically gives him this big massive speech. You forgot that I've known you since you were a small boy of 12. I remember looking at that little looking at this small scrap of a lad standing in the garage down on his luck and with the weight of the world on his shoulders. That small boy asked me for a chance that day. I took a chance on that boy, and I'm glad that I did, because the man that small boy turned into is a man who I am damn proud of. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no that to assault me. And then I'm just going to go through the rest now and see. Oh, this scene where Shane convinces Joey to try heroin for the first time and is like, oh, you'll be fine if you use it safe. You know, there's no need to worry. It'll all be fine. It will not be fine. It was never going to be fine, and it will never be fine. Heroin, because I'm sorry, I've seen the damage heroin people, and like it's no and I think we can all communally say that we hate Shane Holland, and this book just made me hate Shane Holland more. Then is there anything else interesting or like that I pointed out. This I thought was very, very sad. It's when Marie is talking to Aoife, but she's talking about Joey, and she said, I am his mother, and that's how I know that he will break you. He will chip away at your heart, gnawing and gouging at it, tearing away at it strip by strip until there's nothing left, until you are nothing. He will break you because that's all he knows. It's all he's ever known. Like, Marie, he loves you so much. Like, so much. He loves his mother. He just wants to be wanted by his mother, and he was never ever going to get it from her, like, because she can't love him, unfortunately. Yeah. Is there any more? I'm just going to go through it there now quickly. Oh, this, I felt like it was very Irish mentality. Basically, Marie is worried about Joey's heroin usage, which she should be, and she should have probably been a bit worried before it got to heroin, but anyway. It says, like, and Teddy sits down for this conversation with them, which is shocking in its own right. I'm surprised that he even sat down to have this conversation, but he's saying that the young fella is grand, and Marie's like, he's trying heroin, and he's like, no, he's fine. And like, that's such an Irish mentality. It's like, he's grand. He drinks a bit too much, but he's grand. He probably goes out a bit too much, or, you know, he's not home much. She's constantly by herself with the kids. And, like, it was just accepted that, like, that was normal. Any more other bits? Just quotes about them loving each other. And then, obviously, on page 573, we have Joey with the needle in his arm, which is... It's not just triggering because it's horrible to think of, obviously, like, I know he's a fictional character, and it's horrible to think of that scene and to think of it, like, happening to someone. But, like, I've witnessed that. I've seen that happen. I've walked in on that happening. I've seen it. So it's triggering for me in, like, another sense because, like, I worked in the addiction field, particularly with people who were using heroin. So whenever I read that scene, I think of all the people that I've worked with who were struggling with addiction and how hard so many of them fight to try and fight against it, even though when times it feels like it's a losing battle for them. That killed me. We had Joey turning 18, and then we obviously have them breaking up again. But this when they break up, I want you to know that you've been the best part of my day ever since I was 12 years old. Hell, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, this series, just, yeah. And I just think Joey has that, like, that real emotional, like, that emotional, I don't know what it is, but I think it's just he's that character that, like, you think you can fix him, you think he will change, and he can't, and he just tries his hardest. Like, Joey really does try. And you can see he really does try. And, like, I think the difference between Joey and Teddy is when Joey is up, he still tries to protect everyone from him. Whereas Teddy still lashes out. No matter what state Teddy's in, Teddy will hurt other people. Joey will do whatever he can to not hurt anyone but him fucking self. He wants to kill himself. He doesn't want to... Yes, he's hurt, but see... And then there's the other argument where it's like, yeah, but he's hurting other people by hurting himself. And I'm like, I know that. There is that, like, but he can't see that. All he can see is that if I eventually myself up so much to the point where everyone will be done with me, then everyone will be better off. That's what Joey wants. He's not doing it to intentionally hurt Aoife or intentionally hurt other people around him. He's doing it because he thinks that they'll all be better off if he's not around anymore. So he's trying to make their lives better by making himself worse. And like, I know that doesn't sound right, but it's just... Joey's very hard on himself, and I think a lot of the times he doesn't deserve to be as hard on himself as he is, but he doesn't have anyone cheering him on or in his corner. And then when he finally gets that, you see him start to flourish, and I can't wait to see that in Redeeming 6. And then this is the last thing that I highlighted because it was one of the harshest lines that I think was so needed in the book. It was, I'm never going to be enough for you because my love doesn't come in the form of a powder that you can snort up your nose or inject in your veins. And like, my note after it was harsh but needed. And like, I do agree. Like, Aoife was probably sick of feeling like second best, like it's always drugs over me. But as much as he loves Aoife, Aoife will never make him forget the way that the drugs do. And the drugs will numb his brain out where he doesn't have to think about a thing. So I understand why she said that to him. And obviously in the end it does, like, he does end up turning things around for the better. We obviously see that in Redeeming 6. But I thought that was very important because she's saying that, like, I know that you will always choose this over me, because in addiction that's the way it is a lot of the times. But I can't wait for the more positive side in Redeeming 6, even though there's still so much more heartbreak to come. There's still positive sides, because we get to see AJ, and you know, we get more of the core 10 involved in their story, which is really exciting. So yeah, that's Saving 6 done. We have done number 3 of 6. So now Redeeming 6. Let's So we've made a dent into Redeeming 6. I am currently on page 180, and we've basically just gotten to where Aoife realizes she's pregnant, and like you see the first signs of her like being pregnant but not knowing she's pregnant, like when she has like these really weird cravings that she's eating. She thinks she's gaining weight, and she has spotting that she thinks is a period, but it's not her period. It's obviously her being pregnant. And that's the main thing that's happened so far. Obviously they got back together. They break up at the end of Saving 6, and then by like not very far in, they're back together. But I'm just to where she's pregnant. I don't know where we are in terms of like Joey. I'm trying to figure out when was the last. Oh, I have it here. Where we are in Joey's story is when Shannon gets a lift home from Johnny from school, because Joey tells her it's safe, so she does. And Teddy is giving out mad that Shannon got this lift home from someone, that not even that she got a lift home from someone, but that she was late, and he plays it off as if it was Aoife. But I love it. I love the dedication in this one, and the dedication in this one is the best. This one is much longer than I remember it being. It is like well over 900 pages, which, look, honestly, delighted, love, would read millions more pages. But yeah, it's like close to 950, let's say, and I'm currently 180 pages in. I'm hoping to finish it by early next week, because I want to get to Taming 7, and then we've just releasing 10 after that, and then we're done. My babies are gone again, and still no sign of a release, but we'll keep you updated if I do see anything. But so far, that's all that's been happening. Aoife's currently pregnant, and Joey is just dealing with his of being sober, more or less sober. But yeah, I am loving. gonna me. I forgot how many like emotional punches there are in Redeeming 6. I don't know how I forgot when Teddy tries to. I don't know how I forgot that. And as it was happening, I was like, oh shit, yeah. And then obviously Joey being there with his mom when she like sees the miscarried baby for the last time broke me. And I'm feeling so much more for the characters in this book. Like, particularly Joey. Like, I have so many things highlighted, like, about Joey, of things he says about himself. He's so self-deprecating and so hateful towards himself. I'm on part 5 now, so he literally just found out that Aoife was pregnant because Paul Rice decided to tell the whole class, because Kev couldn't keep his mouth shut. There was one scene I found really, really sad. It was when like Aoife was basically being like, you need to tell me that you're trying and that you're stopped. And he was like, I'm in control. I'm in control. I have a handle on it. I know when I need to stop. And she's like, but that's not what I want to hear. I want you to tell me that you are stable and that you will be here. But he obviously can't tell her that right now. And, this book is so sad. Like, so sad. Because, like, Joey was doing so well for, like, such a long time. And now he's, like, not semi-doing well. And we haven't even gotten to when Shannon comes back from Dublin and he beats her and she ends up in hospital. And reading this again from Joey's perspective is actually going to physically break my heart, because when I have to read that the social worker will tell Aoife that like she doesn't understand the amount of physical and emotional trauma that Joey has been through because they see him in the hospital, my heart and soul. So yeah, that's going to be coming soon, I would say. But yeah, I'm on to part 5, so that is page like 395, close to 400, so like I'm nearly halfway. But I'm just heartbroken over them all over again. My camera has zoomed in extremely close to my face, but honestly, I just read Him or Us 2.0 and 2.0. But yeah, that's just my updates.
The sparkle in his license photo. No, we went to House of Pies. He got banana cream. I got coconut. We did half-seas. It's actually one of the nicest things you've ever said about my work.
it's just as good as I remember it. My heart is so full after finishing it because it's a completed story. We know where they're ending up, and it's great. But I will sit down and go more in depth with my thoughts. I can't talk about it right now because I'm currently in public bathroom, so we'll talk about it when I can. We have a new location unlocked, and I haven't filmed an outro or like finishing my thoughts on redeeming and saving 6, so I thought we'd do that while I get ready in my bedroom. I came home yesterday and I just said I'd wait to film my thoughts until I was home, and honestly loved was it saving 6 a lot more this time around than the first time. And I think, and I don't know, is this the case or am I just weirdo, but I wasn't working in the job I am working in when I read Boys of Tommen for the first time. And I think going into it this time and being a youth worker and working as a youth worker, I'm looking at it from such a different lens this time. And I don't know, does anyone find that when they're if you're in the field of like helping people in any way, the social care aspect of work, I do think when you see those more like vulnerable, harder characters, I think you see a lot of them in the people that you work with. So that is my thing so far, is that I think that I loved Joey's story more is because he's similar to a lot of teenagers that I'd seen, a lot of struggles that I would have seen around my friends as teenagers. And so I empathised with Joey a lot more this time around, even though obviously I did the first time, but I just think this time around there was just so much more, and I was reading into so much more, particularly with him and his mother's dynamic. And same with Aoife, I feel like I was looking at her from a different lens as well, with the teenage pregnancy, because again of the young people that I work with, and like I'm just trying to think if that happened to them and what I do and how I try to help if I could help, but I don't know. And so that is my thoughts on that. And Aoife's a trooper, lads. Aoife could have easily been like, nah, I'm not dealing with this, or this is too much for me. I am a teenager. I shouldn't have to deal with this, because no teenager should have to deal with the stuff that any of the teenagers in this series deal with. Like, I just think children are should just be protected from everything. Obviously not everything, because they need to be, but I just don't know. I can just empathise a lot with the characters now in a way I couldn't when I read them the first time. And I think with Joey and Lizzie, that's going to be more prevalent for me this time, with those darker characters. I'm very, very excited to get into Taming 7 in particular, because I want to see, do I still love Gibbs's story as much as I did? I think I will, to be quite honest, because I was a firm believer when I read it the first time that people who went into it expecting it to be Gibbsy didn't understand what the book was going to be about at all. And I just love the Boys of Tommen so much. I just love them. And we've gotten casting announcements since I've last updated. We've gotten everyone bar Patrick Feely, the rest of the Lynch siblings, and our parents. We have everything else now, which is super exciting. People have been extremely rude in the space, which, look, are we shocked that people decided to give their stupid opinions and not respect people? No. Because it's the Boys of Tommen, like, it was bound to happen. It might as well have been expected, So I've noticed, I've looked on the Instagrams of some of our cast, and they have already privated their Instagrams, because I would too if I was them. The hate that they've received so far is absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. There's certain things that that I'm not thrilled or absolutely over the moon with, 100%. And I think that's fair to say. But they're never going to make everyone happy. They're never going to please everyone.
So I think they just went with what they thought was best, and I am fully here for the vision and fully here to see where we go with it. I'm not going to write it off before I see more, because I am very pleased with the cast. I just think we're going for a lot of an older cast, and I'm surprised at that. I didn't think we were going for such an older cast, but again, because it is such a hard series, that's probably why they went for their older cast, because they want to be able to deal with those darker subjects. But yeah, Redeeming 6, Saving 6, amazing. I had a great experience rereading them. Honestly, I actually enjoyed rereading Joey and Aoife's story more than I enjoyed reading Johnny and Shannon's, which was very, very surprising to me, because the first time I was Johnny and Shannon defenders to the fucking ground, and I still am, but I just think there is a lot more depth to Joey. I find that I like seeing his character development more, because I'm just like, if he was in a YGP, what could we do with him? If he was in a YGP, like, we could change it all around, but YGPs didn't exist back then. Actually, half of the core 10 would have been in a YGP. I'm not gonna lie. Aoife and Joy's story was phenomenal. I think I gave Saving 6 a 4-star the first time I read it. I am going to up that to a 5-star, and I'm keeping Redeeming 6 at a 5-star. So now officially all the boys of Tommen are 5 stars for me. It was, I think I had 2 4-stars and the rest were 5. But now, so far, upon reread, they're all 5 stars so far. So yeah, that's all my thoughts. I really, really enjoyed rereading Saving and Redeeming 6, and I cannot wait to get into Taming 7. And stay tuned for that, because that's going to be absolute chaos. And I'll see you in the next Boys of Tommen rereading vlog. So, thank you so much for watching the chaos of rereading Joey and Aoife's story. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Stay tuned for Gibbsy and Claire's story, because that is coming soon, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.